Welcome in, everyone. Some major news on the ceasefire proposal. Hamas has announced it has accepted the Egyptian-Qatari ceasefire proposal. As we look live here at the Nightfall in Jerusalem here, there is a lot of reaction coming in. Again, this is coming out of Cairo, where Hamas had told mediators that it was accepting the Gaza ceasefire proposal. It was first reported Monday by Al Jazeera. We will obviously continue to watch the reaction coming in, but this also is a complicated situation now, as we know that President Joe Biden, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu also spoke today, Monday morning. A White House official and a National Security Council spokesperson said the State Department briefing is scheduled to begin in about 8 minutes, 1 o'clock. We expect that also to have some updates and reaction to what we're hearing. But this ceasefire proposal was really on shaky ground. We know CIA Director William Burns was heading to Cairo on Friday. We know that Secretary of State Antony Blinken had urged Hamas to take it, saying it was very generous. Right now, let's get to John Huddy, our senior correspondent, who's on the ground with the very latest on what we're seeing in the sky here. As we also heard, the Rafah airstrikes had begun. John?
Yeah, there's a significant amount of activity behind me. There were 2 airstrikes just in the distance. That's eastern Rafah. As we hear another explosion, another one. There's outgoing artillery fire. So really the IDF has been pounding eastern Rafah throughout the day. And what we've seen in the last hour is really an increase in the amount of activity of airstrikes. There's some troops coming through, and of artillery fire. We've also seen a significant buildup of IDF forces compared more explosions, artillery fire, a significant IDF buildup on the ground here. I was here on Tuesday. We saw an IDF staging area. The Kerem Shalom crossing is about 1.5 miles down the road here. We got right to the border crossing, saw a pretty sizable IDF staging area, but today we've seen armored personnel, there's special forces going through. We've seen a busload after busload of infantry troops coming here, at one point at a checkpoint, gearing up, putting on their body armor. I'm going to step out of the way. Why don't you zoom in, push in there, and show some of the. So what we're looking at, just real quick, Bianca, that's eastern Rafah. In the distance, all that smoke, those are airstrikes that are happening right now, and the impact from artillery fire. There are reports that Hamas has agreed to the Egyptian-mediated ceasefire. The question that we were pretty much wondering all day, based on the increase in IDF forces on the ground, based on the significant amount of airstrikes, was this the precipice of that major Rafah offensive that we've been anticipating now for several weeks? Or was this the IDF and Israel really putting pressure on Hamas to agree to this ceasefire? Part of the problem, and one of the sticking points, and one of the issues, as we've seen with some of these talks and the negotiations falling apart, was Hamas demanding that Israel would end the war, that Israel would have a full withdrawal of its forces. Israel, however, and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu have maintained that will not happen until the objective is completed, that being the return of all the hostages remaining, an estimated more than 100 hostages possibly in Gaza, and also the destruction of Hamas and its final battalions in Rafah. So that being the case, again, what we're seeing, increase in troop buildup, heavy airstrikes, but this, as we're getting the reports that Hamas has agreed to the ceasefire, and I'm not sure how much you can hear, but there's been a tremendous amount of outgoing artillery fire, as we're seeing the result of it there in the distance, just probably about 2.5 miles in eastern Rafah, Bianca.
Well, we can see the sky, obviously, all the activity behind you, and hear some of the activity. John Huddy, I know you'll be sticking around with us as we're going to go into some more analysis on the potential of what we'll see next here. John Huddy, thank you very much. We'll be checking back in with you, okay?